Welcome back. It is Tuesday, May 14th in the NBA. My three best bets are on the way. Before we dive into the picks today for the two playoff games, let's first do a recap from yesterday, a 1 and 2 day. Let's talk about it. We had the Thunder on the money line. A lot of people think I was going to curse them. No, I really was confident in the Thunder. They got the job done despite they could not make a three-pointer all game long. And speaking of making threes, this guy didn't. Aaron Wiggins, over 0.5 threes. Now, number one, I would say it was a bad read in terms of him getting the playing time. Only played 13 minutes, lost a lot of time to Kenrich Williams. The problem was he shot 3 3-pointers in his 13 minutes. This season, he's shot 3 threes in 21 games. He's hit the over, made at least one in 19 of those games. The two misses, games 3 and 4. I will live with the taking a guy to make 1 3 if he's shooting 3 of them. Just couldn't buy a bucket there. Speaking of buying buckets, Jason Tatum was on one last night. Scored 16 in the first quarter. That's what happens sometimes when I take unders. A 1 and 2 day really feels like should have been a 2 and 1 day. It's kind of been, I felt like the last few days we've had some good reads. Ball hasn't gone in for us. But without further ado, let's dive in the picks today. I do want to note, yesterday I said if I had a losing day, I do a giveaway, and here we are. The winner of that giveaway, the sun god, Nika, I believe that's his name. He posted his favorite player. It was Allen Iverson. I saw a lot of Allen Iversons yesterday. I reached out to his comment, so that's you. Comment down below in the pinned comment or respond back to yesterday's comment. I'll send you $50. Figure out how to do that. Saw a lot of cool answers, though, yesterday. I asked for you guys' favorite NBA player. Saw a Kyle Korver, which was pretty cool. Saw a bunch of Kobe's, obviously. Saw an Amari Stoudemire, which I love Amari. Obviously, a former Knick when he went over from the Suns to the Knicks. Saw a couple white Mambas. It was pretty cool. So I love to see that. And we're going to run back, but we're doing a different sort of giveaway today. If I do not go at least 2 and 1 on the picks I'm about to talk about, I'll give away $50. Here's how to enter. Number 1, subscribe. That's pretty simple. You just got to go down below and hit the subscribe button. That's 100% free. And number 2, I want you guys to comment some good news in your life or maybe something you're thankful for. It could be as small as maybe you're going out to lunch with a friend that you haven't seen in a while, or maybe it's big like you're having your first kid, or maybe it's your kid's birthday, or maybe you got a promotion in life. Either way, comment down below something you're thankful for, some good news going on in your life. I feel like sometimes we overlook the positive things going on in our lives and maybe look at the negatives. But I think it's always important to focus on what puts a smile on your face, what wakes you up every morning. And regardless of how my picks do, hopefully you guys are at least having some fun on this Tuesday morning, evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching. Let's dive into picks though today. Like I said, I'll do a giveaway $50 if we don't have a 2 and 1 or better card. The first pick of the day we're going to start with. Actually, I do want to talk about one last thing. Sorry for a long intro. Parlay play, I don't promote them a ton, but right now they have a free square right now for Caitlin Clark to score 1 point in her WNBA debut, which will be tonight, which I'll be tuned into that as well as the NBA games. But if you want to sign up for Parlay play, you'll get that free square. Just make sure you use our code COS or the link at the top of the description. That'll get a match on your first deposit up to $100. So you can parlay the picks that we talk about in a moment. Let's dive into the first pick of the day. I will talk about who I think wins and covers these games at the end of the video right after the third pick. Let's dive into this one. Nikola Jokic, over 29.5 points, minus 104 on FanDuel. This has been a very similar read that I've been doing so far in this series, and I believe we are 2 and 1 on Jokic overs in points in this series so far. We did not take it in game 2. I don't really remember exactly which game we didn't take it in, but we're 2 and 1 on it so far, and I'm going to run it back here. Now, let's talk about this one because obviously scoring 30 points in a playoff game is tough, especially against a very good defensive team like the Timberwolves. But we've seen Jokic in game 4 when we took his over, 35 points. Now he shot 15 of 26, pretty good shooting percentage, about what he's been shooting though on the season. Only had 6 free throw attempts, made 4 of those 6. So left a point or two at the line. But in the series, he scored 32, 16, 24, and 35 points. Now in game 4, in my opinion, Jokic was not the reason the Timberwolves lost that game. The reason they lost is because Aaron Gordon couldn't miss. He went 11 for 12. And the guys off the bench like Justin Holiday, Reggie Jackson, and Christian Brown, they scored 27 points on 14 field goal attempts. That is the reason that the Timberwolves lost game 4. It was not because Jokic scored 35. Obviously, it doesn't help that Jokic is putting 35, but he's a star player, best player in the NBA. He's going to get his. The problem was you let everyone else get going. Jamal Murray had 19. Michael Porter Jr. has kind of been a no-show so far this series. Tough matchup for him. But at the end of the day, those 54 points to Aaron Gordon and those 3 guys off the bench, you can't be having that for the T-Wolves. They were doubling Nikola Jokic sometimes. He was either dumping it off to Aaron Gordon or he was just kicking it out to some shooters. Kick, a couple extra passes, boom, they were knocking down those shots. But on the T-Wolves today, there's no help coming on Jokic, and you're going to force Jokic to score 40 points and beat you. They've played some pretty good defense on him. It's Nikola Jokic. He's going to get it going, but you can't let the other guys get going. And we've seen Jokic play well against Rudy Gobert. His last 8 games against Gobert, I see all the points on the screen. I'm going to zoom through those. He's hit this over in 5 of 8, averaging 23.9 field goal attempts in those spans, 8.4 free throw attempts as well. Obviously, I'm not an idiot. I know Rudy Gobert's not guarding Nikola Jokic. Typically, I wouldn't be surprised if they switch it up tonight. They're like, Rudy, you're our best defensive year, the defensive player of the year. You guard Jokic. But either way, if he's not, they've just been playing one-on-one coverage when Rudy Gobert's in the game. If you remember in game 2, when Rudy Gobert was not there, they threw a lot of double teams at Nikola Jokic, and that forced him to pass it and kick out the other guys who didn't make shots. In this matchup with Karl-Anthony Towns or Rudy Gobert, whichever one they want to put on him, typically it's Cat, I'm confident that Jokic will get the opportunities, the one-on-one coverage, and I think if I'm the Timberwolves, I let Nikola Jokic score as many points as he wants. If he beats us scoring 50 points, so be it. You got to live with that instead of letting guys like Aaron Gordon or Justin Holiday get wide open looks. You got to live with that. Make Jamal Murray hit contested shots over your elite perimeter defenders like Nickeil Alexander-Walker and McDaniels and Ant-Man, and let Jokic go one-on-one on either Cat or Rudy Gobert. That is how you have to lose if you're the T-Wolves. And so with that, I like Nikola Jokic once again over in points. Missed a couple minutes last game because of foul trouble. Should be well above 40 minutes tonight. Let's hope the game's competitive for all of our sakes. Now, for my second pick, I'm going to go to actually stay in this same game, going to a point guard. It's not Jamal Murray. It's on the other side. I like Mike Conley is over 20.5 points, rebounds, and assists, minus 111 on FanDuel. Now, I'd play this about minus 130. If I had to take an individual line, I lean points, but Conley sneakily has been getting some assists in there. I think he has 6+ assists in all games this series, and he has some random games where he spawns in with like 6 revs, and you're like, what the heck, how'd that happen? And there's a reason behind the rebounds. It's because KCP is the guy he's guarding, and KCP doesn't even get the ball most possessions. So Mike Conley's kind of just camping in the corner. So if there's a weak side rebound, far long range rebound, he's the guy that's probably going to grab it, and that certainly could happen today. But in these 3 games with Rudy Gobert active, Conley has had 28, 22, and 26 PRAs. He's attempted 8, 9, and 12 field goal attempts last game. I am going to throw game 2 out of the equation because game 2 was something that will not happen today. That was Kyle Anderson starting. This will be Rudy Gobert in the lineup. And when Kyle Anderson started, he had, 9 rebounds and 8 assists. He took the ball out of Mike Conley's hands. Mike Conley ain't getting PRAs if the ball's not in his hands. Also, game 2 was a huge blowout, which probably doesn't happen tonight. Now, last game we saw Conley play a series high 34 minutes for him. So the most minutes he's seen in this series, and that included missing legitimately the last 8 minutes of the second quarter when he picked up his 3rd foul and he got rested for, I believe, Nickeil Alexander-Walker played those minutes. Now, I'm not saying Mike Conley played all 8 of those minutes to close the half, but he would have gotten at least a few more minutes in there. And so we saw Monte Morris, no minutes. Kyle Anderson, only 6 minutes off the bench. They really went to a 7-man rotation where Naz Reid and NAW came off the bench. Those were the 7 men. And while Ant-Man's going to play a lot of minutes, they're going to have to sub him out, at least for a few minutes. Mike Conley will probably run point even more then. But at the end of the day, Mike Conley's a trusted veteran, and I trust him in game 5 to show up for his teammates. And we've seen in 4 regular season games versus Denver, Conley 26, 24, 34, 25 PRAs, played 32 or less minutes in all those games, including a couple with 27, 29 minutes. I think there's a realistic possibility Conley not only sees 32 minutes or whatever he saw last game, which was 34 minutes. He could see maybe 36, maybe 40 minutes tonight. Mike Conley's a veteran. They want him out there. Pivotal game 5. You're going to play your best players a ton, and Mike Conley's one of their best players. He's the guy that they want to have the ball in his hands. They don't want other guys creating shots for him. And Ant-Man obviously just went off for 44, and I'm sure he gets going, but they're not really going to beat this Nuggets team if it's just Ant-Man trying to score all his points. I like Mike Conley facilitating, getting the ball down low to the big men, and they know Jokic isn't going to want to foul them. So I'd like Mike Conley today to fill up the stat sheet. Typically, I just take points and assists. Like I said, there's a chance he grabs 8 rebounds, or not 8 rebounds. He grabs 8 rebounds. I'll probably record tomorrow shirtless, but he could also go out there and grab 4 or 5 rebounds, which you've seen him do plenty of times against the Nuggets. My third and final play of the day is going to go to the Pacers versus Knicks game. Now, I'll talk about who I think wins this one as well as who I think wins and covers the previous one. The player prop in this one I'm going with Miles McBride over 9.5 points plus 102 on FanDuel. Now, for my FanDuel bettors out there, you actually get better odds if you take him for 10 points than you take him for over 9.5 points. I think DraftKings had him at plus value as well. I think both go hand in hand. You'll find plus value or within minus 115 for Miles McBride. Now, obviously, I'm a Knicks fan. I watch every single Knicks game. I'm not betting any more Pacers props. I'm done. I picked the wrong one every single time. Nembhard probably scores 15 points tonight. If I touched a TJ McConnell over, he's probably scoring 1 point tonight. I'm not doing it. I'm going to Miles McBride because I think there's a chance. Not only do we get good CLV here because he could start, but I also think he's just going to have to be needed. I mean, at the end of the day, the Knicks legitimately have no scoring. They have Jalen Brunson. He's obviously a beast, but very hobbled. OG Anunoby dead. And then you got Josh Hart, who looks afraid to shoot the basketball, probably pretty more aggressive today. And Dante DiVincenzo, who they obviously know is going to want to shoot threes. McBride is a capable three-point shooter. He's capable of breaking the guy down off the dribble. And at the end of the day, I think they're going to need him to play big minutes. In the regular season, McBride averaged a little over 8.3 points per game, shot 41% from three. In this series, hasn't shot the ball well from three, 26%. But we saw him shoot 43% versus Philly. So we know it's in there. And back in a role player at home, typically where they shoot better. Now, like I said, OG Anunoby, not really dead, but he is out. And since he went down, which was back in the end of game 2, McBride has played 29 and 32 minutes. And we saw score 10 points in game 3, 16 points in game 4 on 3 of 8 and 6 of 17 shooting. Now, I don't really want to look into that 6 of 17. He did get a lot of minutes with the second unit out. However, what's promising is he started the second half. He did play the whole fourth quarter where he saw 12 extra minutes, but I'm confident he still would have gotten probably closer to 25 to 30 minutes in that game. 32, an anomaly. He won't see that. He won't see 17 shots either. But at the same time, this is a guy they need out there to score. This is a Pacers team running back and forth. You need some young guys out there to play defense. McBride, a pretty good defender. And you need guys to be able to put the ball in the basket. The Knicks cannot win this series if it's just Jalen Brunson and he's the only one showing up. And heck, he hasn't even showed up the last 2 games. They can't. They just won't. They need other guys to show up. And Precious Achiuwa, he can't make threes and stretch the floor. So less space for Jalen Brunson if he's driving. Then they need guys like Alec Burks and Miles McBride to play minutes. And Miles McBride is over this line in 4 of his last 5 games when he's played 20 or more minutes in the playoffs. I don't want to count regular season games, but if you want to look at regular season games, he's over in 88% of games at home when he shoots 5 or more times with Jalen Brunson active. I'm not counting games when Brunson missed, which wasn't many this regular season, but was some. So look, I like McBride. So does Tom Thibodeau. This is a guy that I think they trust. He's juiced to make 2 threes, like minus 170. So I think we get at least 6 points. I think he can get closer to 10 to 15 points on tonight. So Miles McBride, I need a good start from you because I need a 1-0 start in your game before we move to the Nuggets and T-Wolves game. I really like his over 9.5 points. Like I said, I talked about who I think wins and covers this game. Now, I don't like these games. I don't like any spread enough to put it on the official card for 1 unit. You guys know I don't do spread picks. When I do, it's because I'm really confident. Really liked Thunder money line the other day. Earlier in the playoffs, really liked the Mavs. If I had to, gun to my head, like, you got to pick a winner. I would lean Pacers plus 2.5 or money line, and I lean the Timberwolves on the spread. Personally, I think the Pacers just have too many guys that can score 10, 15 points on any given night, whereas the Knicks are relying way too heavily on 3-4 guys. I mean, outside of Brunson, outside of Dante DiVincenzo, and I don't even know what you're getting out of Josh Hart, McBride, or Alec Burks, assuming 2 of those guys show up out of the 3. Hopefully McBride's one of them. You're needing those guys to come out for 100 points. And I just don't know if the Knicks can consistently do that. Obviously, if they make shots, they'll win, and they are more likely to make them at home. This is a must-win game for the Knicks, as the Pacers are won like 10 straight at home. I just don't want to. I don't want to bet on the Pacers because I don't want to root for it as a Knicks fan. But that's probably what I would. I'm a little bit more confident in Pacers than I would be on Timberwolves. But I think the T-Wolves can show up. As I said, you're not getting 54 points out of Aaron Gordon and the 3 bums off the bench. Sorry to call you bums. They're not consistently doing that. I lean T-Wolves, but I don't like either spread. Put my own money on it. So on my 3 picks, Miles McBride's over in points. Mike Conley's over in PRAs. And Jokic over in points. My 3 picks really feels like a winning card. If we don't go 2-1 or better, or 3-0, forget the brooms, I will give away $50 to one person that is subscribed and comments down below something you're thankful for, some good news going on in your life. So you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. Let's get back to our winning ways. I know what's happening. A 3-0 day is coming. I promise you, it's coming soon. Tap into that. Tap into our MLB video where we have best bets over there. Plus, we have another giveaway that doesn't even require us to have a winning or losing day. Go check that out. It's another giveaway. Just you'll go see. Just check out the MLB video. Those are my favorite picks. Reminder: parlay play. Sign up with code COS or the link in the description. They will match your first deposit up to $100, and you'll get the Caitlin Clark free square. Let's see how she does in her first WNBA game. You guys have a great Tuesday. I'll see you guys back again tomorrow with some more picks. Peace.